your veins or your body or whatever. But I could certainly sense those parts of. I could certainly sense developments on the brain that through the first exam process and the second exam process of the Central London licence, and at face value it appeared to be for the best. But like I say, on this particular last appearance on 28th, there was what I would class as an initiation of an occult-like quality that's started with, say for example, that the night before most appearances you would lay down and you'd be nervous that you had an interview the next day with regards to employment, and you'd lay there and, nervous, and you probably wouldn't sleep for half an hour, and then you'd fall asleep and you'd get up normal and go to your interview. But on this occasion and on a few occasions before, there was an extreme occult experience. So I'd lay down to go to sleep at say 10 o'clock, aware that I'd had an experience the day before, that I'd had an appearance the next day, and I would lay down and then I would become sort of shaky, my skin would become tingling, I would get burning sensations, and then in my mind's eye, with my eyes closed and whilst being consciously awake, I would start to experience what they would call here in the third eye, I suppose, but also in the pressure points of your temple. You would experience strange like colours, possibly blues and purples and slight greens, but on this occasion it was more than that. It was an actual occult initiation. So I saw an image whilst awake with my eyes closed. I saw an image of a dagger, a chalice, and I saw what appeared to be some kind of dance, a woman dancing with a guy dressed in a suit, and then what appeared to be a phoenix-like bird with flames fly from behind the woman that danced, or from out of what appeared to be something on her head, like some kind of headwear or headdress or something like that. And this was all sort of, it appeared to be, to me, what I could only describe as an occult initiation. I haven't, or some kind of initiation. I don't have any previous history with regards to any occultism or Buddhism or any kind of mysticism. Actually, I don't have any experience with any of this kind of side of, I'm not sure what you would call it really, sort of mysticism, I suppose, or occultism. But from that point onwards, my life had been completely turned around. I barely made it to that appearance that morning. I put my suit on, my new suit. I put my new tie, and I looked sharp and was ready for what you would only class as a job interview type situation where you had to answer a series of questions. As I left my house that morning and got into my taxi and made my way to the building in London for the appearance, I was shaking profusely. I could barely walk to the taxi. I sat in a taxi, shaking, and it was just overpowering, really intense, really overpowering. My brain was really activated, overtly activated. My eyes felt really sort of, really sore, and sort of as if I'd done a lot of reading, or probably more than that actually. My eyes were really sore, and I was just shaking profusely. I was extremely nervous to an extent where I could barely drive. But I did manage to sort of muster up the courage, so to speak, and overcome the overwhelming sensations that I was experiencing that morning, and managed to make my way to the appearance. Luckily for me, I got to the appearance and I scored on that occasion. But the night I got home after that appearance, that night I got home, there was another occult initiation, believe it or not. So I pretty much sat indoors for a couple of hours, happy but nervous about the events that took place before that particular appearance, but also was on edge with regards to whether I was going to experience any further initiations or any further occult-like experiences. That night I went to sleep, and within maybe 10 or 20 minutes I seemed to wake up, and I experienced what can only be explained as sort of cutting sensations on the back of my hippocampus, which I'd already explained is part of the brain that grows through the knowledge. So I experienced slicing or cutting sensations on the back of my hippocampus, and then what felt like a fresh burst of blood into that particular area of the brain. And then since then, which sounds, it's not funny actually, but since then my brain hasn't been the same. It hasn't operated as it had the 10 or 7 years. Actually, it hasn't operated the same as it has for the last 7 years leading up to that. So I can pretty much for sure put that down to that particular experience, and which is associated with the knowledge of London, the Central London knowledge of London. And I'm going to take a break for a minute because, for a start, the battery on my phone is running out, but also I need to think about what direction I take the conversation with these videos, because obviously I'm not an expert on the occult, and it's a scary situation to talk about. It's all very bizarre and strange, but ultimately I'm a normal guy, and I enjoyed servicing London as a black cab driver. I have morals, I have extreme integrity, and I have a family that I was looking to support and provide for the rest of my life. And ultimately this has taken that away from me. This has destroyed it, and I put a lot of effort. I spent a lot of money studying the knowledge, both knowledges, over the 7 years. I'd put a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of effort, a real lot of effort actually. I made the knowledge my life. I made it. This was what was going to make. This was going to start the building of my empire. To be honest, this was actually going to kickstart my life, and I put a lot of effort in it for 7 years. So I'll pause this video for now, and then think about what's going to be on the next video. But trust me in these words that the next video, with regards to the knowledge and my experience, and probably what some other knowledge students have experienced, but not really been brave enough to, or clever enough to put online or explain. And trust me, it's eye-opening, and it's mind-expanding, and it's the truth, and I'm going to tell you. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.